past, maybe you're not man enough for my present. I replied, "You're right about one thing." Then I handed her divorce papers I'd been preparing for weeks. She was stunned when she saw the date. I'd known about her lies long before this conversation. I, 36 male, had that conversation with my wife, 34, 3 days ago. The one where she finally showed me exactly who she is. But here's the thing. I'd been preparing for it for 5 weeks. Let me back up. We've been married for 3 years, together for 5. Met through mutual friends at a barbecue. She seemed perfect. Great job in pharmaceutical sales, close with her family, talked about wanting kids someday. We got engaged after a year, married after 2. Everything was fine until 6 months ago when a letter arrived at our house. Addressed to her, but with a different last name. Not her maiden name either, a completely different name. I asked her about it casually. "Hey, got some mail for someone with your first name but different last name. You know them?" She barely glanced at it. "Oh, that's nothing. Junk mail. They mix up names all the time." Threw it away immediately. Weird, but okay. Then it kept happening. Court documents, collection agency letters, all with this other last name. Each time she had an excuse. Mistaken identity. Someone else with her name. No big deal. But I work in insurance. I know how to run background checks. So I did. Turns out my wife wasn't who she said she was. Not entirely. The different last name? From a previous marriage that she never mentioned, not once in 5 years. But it gets better. That marriage? Still legally active in another state. She never finalized the divorce. Just moved here and started using her maiden name again like nothing happened. The court documents? Her ex-husband was suing her for unpaid debt they'd accumulated together. About $40K worth. The collection letters? Medical bills from a surgery her ex had while they were married. Her name was on the paperwork as responsible party. I found all this out slowly, piece by piece, through public records and some help from a friend who's a paralegal. The deeper I dug, the worse it got. She'd lied about her education, said she had a master's degree, actually dropped out senior year of undergrad. Lied about her previous job experience. She'd been fired from 2 positions for falsifying sales numbers. Lied about her family being supportive when really they'd cut her off after she stole from her own mother. Every single thing I thought I knew about her past was a lie, or a severe modification of the truth. I confronted her once, about a month ago. Showed her the marriage certificate I'd found. Asked her directly if she'd been married before. That's ancient history. It doesn't matter now. Why are you digging into my past? Don't you trust me? It matters because you never told me. Because men like you can't handle when women have complicated pasts. You want some perfect little princess with no history. No, I want honesty. Well, I'm sorry I'm not perfect. Maybe if you weren't so judgmental, I would have felt safe telling you. Turned it around on me. Made me the bad guy for wanting to know who I actually married. That's when I called a lawyer, started documenting everything, prepared divorce papers, got my finances in order, moved important documents to my office, and I waited. 3 days ago, she came home from a work trip, which I'm 90% sure was actually a trip to see her ex-husband about the lawsuit. I asked how it went. "Fine, stop interrogating me. I'm just asking about your day. You're always suspicious of everything. It's exhausting. Maybe I wouldn't be suspicious if you were honest." And there it was, the line that I'll remember forever. If you can't handle my past, maybe you're not man enough for my present. I actually smiled. You're right about one thing. Walked to my office, came back with a folder, set it in front of her. "What's this?" "Divorce papers, filed 5 weeks ago. Court dates in 3 weeks. Her face went white. She opened the folder, saw the filing date. 5 weeks? But that was before we even... Before you accused me of not being man enough? Yeah, I found out about your previous marriage 2 months ago. Found out about all of it. You've been planning this the whole time? I've been preparing while giving you chances to come clean. You chose not to. This is insane. You can't just divorce me over my past. I'm divorcing you for lying, repeatedly, about everything. Your marriage, your debts, your education, your job history. You built our entire relationship on lies. She started crying. I can explain all of it. Just let me explain. You had 5 years to explain. You chose to lie instead. You're really going to throw away 3 years of marriage over this? You threw it away when you married me while still legally married to someone else, which, by the way, might be bigamy depending on how the courts look at it. That stopped her cold. She hadn't thought of that. I need you to move out by the end of the month. The house is in my name, purchased before we married. My lawyer says I'm not obligated to let you stay. Where am I supposed to go? Maybe your husband can help you figure it out. I left her sitting there with the papers. Went to a hotel for the night. Haven't been back to the house yet, except to grab more clothes. My lawyer advised keeping distance until the court date. She's called 39 times, texted even more. I haven't answered. Everything goes through my lawyer now. The court date is in 18 days. I'm not backing down. Update 1, 1 week later. It's been a week since I served the papers. Things have escalated in exactly the ways my lawyer predicted they would. Day 1 to 3, the love bombing. First came the apology texts, hundreds of them. How sorry she was, how she'd change, how she panicked about telling me because she loved me so much and was afraid of losing me. Then the promises. She'd go to therapy, she'd fix everything. She'd be completely honest from now on. She'd pay off all her debts, she'd finalize her divorce, anything I wanted. When I didn't respond, the texts changed tone. You're being cruel and heartless. I deserve a chance to explain face to face. A real man would at least hear me out. Still didn't respond. My lawyer's advice, document everything, but don't engage. Day 4, the family arrives. Her mother and sister showed up at my office. Security called me to come down because they were causing a scene. Found them in the lobby. Her mother was crying. Sister looked pissed. Her mother, please, you have to give her another chance. She's not a bad person. Me, ma'am, your daughter is legally married to 2 people simultaneously. That makes her either a bigamist or a liar who never properly divorced. Either way, not someone I want to stay married to. Her sister, you're being dramatic. Lots of people mess up paperwork during divorces. And lots of people tell their new partners about their previous marriages. She chose not to. Her mother, she was protecting herself. Her first marriage was abusive. That was new information. If true, I'd feel terrible. But, me. Then why did she never mention it? Why lie about everything else too? Her education, her job history, stealing from you? Her mother's face changed. She told you about that? She didn't. I found out. Silence. Her sister tried a different angle. Look, we know she's messed up, but she loves you, and you made vows. Me. Vows based on lies aren't binding. We're done here. Please don't come to my workplace again. Security escorted them out. My boss was actually pretty understanding when I explained, said to let him know if there were any more disruptions. Day 5 to 6. The smear campaign begins. She created a narrative on her social media. I don't use those platforms much, but friends started forwarding me screenshots. Going through the hardest time of my life, my husband is divorcing me because I made mistakes in my past that I've grown from. If you've ever been judged for your past, you know how this feels. The comments were split. Some people offered support. Others asked what mistakes she meant. She responded to one, things from a previous relationship that I'd rather not discuss publicly. But apparently some people can't forgive and move forward, making herself the victim. Classic. I didn't post anything. My lawyer advised against it. Don't engage in social media battles. It looks petty and can hurt your case. But my friends knew the truth. They started commenting. Nothing detailed, just, that's not the whole story. Maybe tell them what you actually did. She deleted those comments and made her posts friends only. Day 7. The financial desperation. Got a call from my bank. Someone tried to access our joint checking account and transfer all the money to a personal account. We'd had separate accounts for most expenses, but kept a joint one for household bills. About $8,000 in it at the time. The bank flagged it as suspicious because the transfer request came from a device that had never accessed the account before. Her work laptop. I immediately went to the bank, showed them the divorce papers, asked to freeze the account. We can't freeze it without a court order since both names are on it. Fine, I want to withdraw all of it. Is that legal? They checked. Yes, either party can withdraw from a joint account. I withdrew all $8,000 in cash. Deposited it in my personal account at a different bank. Petty? Maybe, but legal. 2 hours later, she called from her mother's phone. I blocked her number. Answered because I didn't recognize it. You stole from me. No, I withdrew my money from a joint account, which you tried to do first. That was our household money. Was, past tense, we don't have a household anymore. You're supposed to be moving out. I can't afford to move out. You took all the money. You have a job. Use your paycheck. My paychecks are already garnished for the debts you're now judging me for. Interesting. So the debt collectors had found her. Me? Not my problem anymore. You should have been honest from the start. I'm going to tell everyone what you really are. A controlling, abusive asshole who abandons his wife when she needs him most. Feel free. I have documentation of everything you lied about, including the marriage certificate from your first wedding that you never mentioned. My lawyer's actually excited about that one. Hung up? Blocked that number too. Day 8. Today, the escalation. This morning, I got a call from my lawyer. My wife filed an emergency motion for temporary spousal support and exclusive use of the house. Her argument? I trapped her in a marriage, financially abused her by withdrawing the joint account money, and left her destitute without warning. My lawyer laughed when he read it to me. She's claiming you had no cause for divorce, and this was a malicious action. Wants $3,000 month support plus the house. Can she get that? Unlikely. We have proof of her fraud and lies, but we need to respond formally. Court hearing is in a week. Great. So now I have 2 court dates to deal with. My lawyer's preparing our response. It'll include evidence of her previous marriage she failed to disclose, bigamy concerns, documentation of her false statements about education and employment, court records showing outstanding debts she never mentioned, timeline showing I gave her multiple opportunities to come clean, bank records proving she attempted to take the joint account first. This is actually going to help our case, my lawyer said. She's showing exactly the kind of behavior that justifies your divorce. The entitlement is off the charts. Meanwhile, she's apparently staying with her mother. Her sister keeps trying to contact me through LinkedIn, of all places. I've ignored those messages. Found out through a mutual friend that she's telling people I ambushed her with divorce papers out of nowhere, over minor issues from years ago. The friend asked me directly what happened. I gave her the basic truth. She was married before and never told me. Still legally married when we got married. Also lied about most of her past. Friend's response? Holy crap. Yeah, that's grounds for divorce. Apparently word is spreading in our social circle. Good. Let the truth come out. The court hearing for her motion is in 6 days. The actual divorce proceedings are in 11 days. I'm not backing down. She had years to be honest. She chose lies. Now she gets to deal with the consequences. Update 2. 2 weeks later, the court hearings happened. Both of them. And the entitlement has reached levels I didn't think were possible. Emergency motion hearing week 1. Showed up with my lawyer. She showed up with a legal aid attorney she'd apparently qualified for by claiming poverty. Her lawyer looked tired, probably dealing with a difficult client. The judge asked her to explain her emergency motion. Her lawyer, Your Honor, my client was suddenly served with divorce papers without warning. Her husband drained their joint bank account, leaving her with no resources. She needs temporary support to survive while this case proceeds. My lawyer stood. Your Honor, may I present evidence that disputes this narrative? Proceeded to lay it out. 1. Bank records showing her attempt to drain the account first. 2. My text messages from a month prior confronting her about the previous marriage. 3. Her response messages calling me judgmental and saying I couldn't handle her past. 4. Timeline showing she'd had 4 weeks to prepare since being served. Judge reviewed everything. Looked at her. Ma'am, you attempted to empty the joint account before your husband did? She stammered. I needed to secure funds because I knew he was planning to leave me with nothing. Judge, but he only withdrew the money after your attempt was flagged by the bank? Yes, but... And you were served papers 4 weeks ago, giving you time to make arrangements? Her lawyer jumped in. Your Honor, my client has substantial debts and debts from a previous marriage she failed to disclose to her current husband? Her lawyer looked confused. Clearly she hadn't told him everything. My lawyer helpfully provided the marriage certificate from her first marriage, and the court documents showing she'd never filed for divorce. Judge's face hardened. Ma'am, are you currently legally married to two people? It's complicated. The first marriage was years ago. I thought it was over. Thought it was over is not the same as legally divorced. Do you have divorce papers from your first marriage? No, but then you may have committed bigamy when you married the petitioner. Her lawyer started whispering urgently to her. She looked pale. Judge, emergency motion for spousal support and exclusive use of home is denied. The petitioner owns the home solely purchased before the marriage. As for support, given the circumstances of fraud and potential bigamy, I see no basis for emergency relief. Regular divorce proceedings will address this. Next case. She tried to argue. Judge shut it down. We left. In the hallway, she cornered me. Her lawyer tried to hold her back, but she shook him off. You're destroying my life. You destroyed it yourself. Everyone thinks I'm a terrible person now. Maybe because you did terrible things. I made mistakes. I'm human. Mistakes are accidental. Lies are choices. You made choices every day for 5 years. Her lawyer pulled her away before security got involved. Divorce hearing week 2. This was the big one. Final hearing to dissolve the marriage. She'd apparently fired the legal aid attorney and hired a private lawyer. No idea where she got the money. Maybe her mother? New lawyer was aggressive from the start. Tried to paint me as controlling, suspicious, invasive of privacy. My client had a difficult past she wasn't ready to discuss. The petitioner invaded her privacy by running background checks and digging into sealed records. My lawyer. Her previous marriage was not sealed. It's public record, as are the outstanding lawsuits against her. Her lawyer. Regardless, my client deserves a share of marital assets. My lawyer presented our asset breakdown. House, purchased by me 2 years before we met, solely in my name. Car, mine, purchased before marriage. Car hers, leased in her name. Retirement accounts, mine was funded before and during marriage. Hers doesn't exist. Debt, none in my name. 40 cal plus in hers from previous marriage. Her lawyer tried to argue she should get half the house value. Judge asked for proof she'd contributed to the mortgage. She couldn't provide any. I paid the mortgage from my account. She paid for groceries and utilities from her account. Much smaller contributions. Then came the kicker. My lawyer brought up the bigamy issue. Your Honor, the respondent never legally terminated her first marriage before entering this one. Technically, this marriage may be void from the start. Her new lawyer's face fell. Your Honor, Is your client still legally married to her first husband? Silence. Judge, I'll take that as a yes. This complicates matters significantly. Long story short, the marriage was annulled rather than divorced. On grounds that she was already married when we wed, making our marriage legally invalid. She gets nothing, because the marriage never legally existed. I get everything I came in with because we were never actually married. Her lawyer tried to argue common law marriage. Judge shut it down. Not in this state. She broke down crying. This is insane. We were together for 5 years. Judge, you were together, yes, but you were married to someone else the entire time. That's your doing, not his. Annulment granted. Case closed. The aftermath. As we left the courthouse, she followed me to my car. Her mother and sister were with her. Her mother, you've ruined her. Are you happy? Me, I didn't ruin anything. She ruined it herself. Her sister. She's going to lose her job. The company found out about the bigamy thing. Not my problem, but that explained where she'd gotten money for the lawyer. Probably maxed out credit cards before the firing. My wife, ex-wife, never wife, just stared at me. I hope you're proud of yourself. I'm not proud. I'm just done being lied to. I loved you. You loved what I could give you. There's a difference. Her mother tried to guilt me. She has nowhere to go. You're really gonna let her be homeless? She has parents. She has a sister. That's more than some people have. Walked to my car. They didn't follow. The fallout. Got a few messages from mutual friends. Most were supportive once they heard the full story. A few tried the "everyone makes mistakes" line. I blocked those. One message stood out. From her first husband. Hey man, heard what happened. Sorry you got caught up in her mess. She did the same thing to me. Lies about everything. Just ghosted one day. I've been trying to serve her divorce papers for 2 years. Her family kept hiding her. If you have a current address, can you share it? My lawyer needs it. I gave him her mother's address. Figure he deserves closure too. Financially, I came out fine. The annulment means no asset division. The joint account money is mine since we were never legally married. Her debts stay her debts. Emotionally, exhausted, angry, relieved, all at once. I trusted someone completely and found out everything was fake. That messes with your head. But at least it's over. Final update, 6 weeks post-annulment. It's been 6 weeks since the annulment. Time to close this chapter for real. The immediate aftermath. First 2 weeks were weird. Kept expecting her to show up or contact me. She didn't. Radio silence. Found out why through the grapevine. Her first husband successfully served her divorce papers at her mother's house. She finally had to deal with that mess. Also found out she lost her job. Not just because of the bigamy thing. Turns out the work trips were unauthorized absences. She'd been lying to her employer too. Pattern of behavior. Her family tried one last guilt trip. Her sister sent a long email about how I destroyed her sister's life and how I should help her get back on her feet. My response, your sister destroyed her own life with years of lies. I'm not responsible for the consequences of her choices. Don't contact me again. Block them all. Everywhere. The legal closure. Her first husband's divorce went through. Quick, uncontested. He got everything he wanted because she didn't even show up to court. Talked to him once on the phone. He thanked me for the address, said he'd been trying to move on but couldn't legally remarry until their divorce was final. She told me she'd filed the papers herself, he said. Guess that was another lie. Seems to be her specialty. You dodged a bullet, man. I wasted 7 years with her. I'm sorry you went through that. Yeah, well, at least we're both free now. Decent guy. Hope he finds someone honest. The financial reckoning. Remember those debt collectors sending letters to my house? They found out about the annulment. Tried to come after me anyway, claiming I might be liable for her debts. My lawyer sent them a very firm letter explaining that since the marriage was annulled, never valid, I had zero legal obligation to her debts. They backed off. She apparently filed for bankruptcy. Her sister let that slip in a final attempted guilt trip message before I blocked her. She had to file bankruptcy because you wouldn't help her. Not my circus. Not my monkeys. The social fallout. Our mutual friend group basically split. Some people took her side initially, believing her victim narrative. But as the truth came out, the bigamy, the lies, the job firing, most of them quietly distanced themselves from her. A few still think I'm heartless for not giving her another chance. I don't waste energy arguing with them. The people who matter, my actual friends from before her, have been solid. They never liked her anyway, turns out. One friend admitted, "Dude, we all thought she was shady. You seemed happy though, so we didn't say anything. Would have been nice to know earlier, but whatever." The emotional recovery. Not gonna lie, this screwed with my head. I spent weeks questioning my judgment. How did I miss all the red flags? Was I really that blind? Talked to a therapist about it. She said something that helped. Pathological liars are good at lying. That's what makes them pathological. You trusted your partner. That's normal. She exploited that trust. That's on her, not you. Still working through it. Trust issues are real now. But I'm also relieved, like I escaped something that would have eventually exploded worse. Imagine if we'd had kids. Imagine if I'd found out 5 years from now instead of now. The new normal. Sold the house. Too many bad memories. Bought a smaller condo closer to work. Fresh start. Adopted a dog. He's a good judge of character. If he doesn't like someone, I trust his instincts now. Back to my normal routine. Work, friends, hobbies. It's quiet. Boring even. But boring is good after all that chaos. Not dating yet. Need more time. Maybe next year. My parents have been great. My dad said something that stuck with me. You handled this with class. Didn't trash her publicly. Didn't try to ruin her life beyond the natural consequences of her actions. You got out clean. That's all you can do. The final word. Someone asked me if I regret how I handled it. If I should have been more compassionate or given her a chance to explain? No. She had 5 years to explain. Multiple direct confrontations where she could have come clean. She chose lies every single time. The annulment papers, were prepared over 5 weeks because I wanted to be thorough. I wanted to give her time to maybe finally be honest. She didn't take it. When she said, "Maybe you're not man enough for my present," she accidentally told the truth. I'm not man enough to spend my life with someone who lies about everything. I'm not man enough to accept betrayal and fraud as just her past. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Some people called my approach cold or calculated. Maybe it was, but the alternative was letting emotion cloud my judgment and potentially getting screwed over worse. I protected myself. Legally, financially, emotionally. That's not being cold. That's being smart. To anyone reading this who's dealing with a partner who lies about major things, trust your gut. Document everything. Don't let them gaslight you into thinking you're overreacting. Lies about the past matter because they inform the present and the future. Someone who lies about being married before will lie about other things. Someone who hides debts will hide other problems. Someone who falsifies their education or job history will falsify other things. Patterns matter. I'm moving forward. She's dealing with the consequences of her choices. That's how it should be. And honestly, I'm doing okay. Better than okay. I'm free. That's all I ever wanted.